can Trump navigate the Republican red lines on immigration, about alienating key Latin American allies amidst the rising regional tensions?
Well, first of all, good to see you, Henny. The short answer is no, he can't. There's a double-edged sword with his immigration policies that he is trying to really push as part of his agenda. Number one, he's putting a burden on our allies in Latin America that are expecting. The White House is expecting these allies to take back these deportees. And in many instances, they don't have the infrastructure or the capability to do it in-house, in-country, right away, as quickly as Donald Trump wants. The other double-edged sword here is a huge economic burden here in the United States. What nobody's talking about here in the U.S. is the fact that our economy is largely maintained, especially at some of the retail levels, by a migratory workforce that is essential. Americans have become spoiled and entitled. They don't want to pay $20 for a bushel of strawberries. The only way we're able to keep those costs down is through a migratory workforce. So as Donald Trump is pushing them away or having them, not even be part of the workforce here inside the United States, costs are going to go up. That means inflation is going to go up, and that goes against exactly what Donald Trump was, according to him, the mandate from the American people that put him into office.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Tannis, defense spending has been under scrutiny. Could the budget cuts weaken America's financial commitments to NATO and Indo-Pacific alliances, which have been under the spotlight for some time now?
Yeah, the administration is not eager to cut defense spending. In fact, I think in the budget, defense spending goes up. Keep in mind that there are very little room in the discretionary part of the budget. The vast majority of our $7.3 trillion budget are items that can't be cut, specifically like Social Security, Medicare, and the like. Defense is about $1 trillion budget item, the largest discretionary budget item. And by the way, the next largest is cost of the debt, the interest on the debt, which is also almost $1 trillion. So don't expect cuts in the defense area. They're going to try to find cuts in something else. And let me just add, we've talked a lot about tariffs. And one of the tariff issues is that Trump is using this to raise revenue because he needs to raise revenue. So far it's been kind of a disaster because it's been a ping pong match on and off. But that is going to change soon. Just watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Russell, how does the legislative gridlock over Medicaid and the spending caps affect America's soft power and credibility on the global stage?
Well, hey, that's an incredible question, and I think it's hard to dissect right now at this point. Traditionally, if we looked at traditional presidential administrations and we had looked at traditional approaches to both domestic spending and foreign policy, we could probably have an answer. In this case, there's a lot of overlap in this. Let's take, for example, funding of foreign aid. Foreign aid has been one of the greatest tools in soft power, whether it is in Africa in fighting, infectious disease, or whether it is in providing defense support to our allies in Eastern Europe to prevent aggression by Russia. In today's world, we're not seeing that. We've seen the dismemberment and the closing almost of USAID, the Agency for International Development, and we're seeing cuts in programs such as Peace Corps. We're seeing cuts in programs at State Department that provide those type of financial and direct support programs. We are a far cry from the really true soft power that we have had in the United States overseas. The James Baker doctrine is gone. That type of soft power we're not going to see, at least under this administration. that is what puts us at a soft power disadvantage. From a fiscal standpoint, though, I don't think anybody realizes, and this is something that we've talked about at the center, is the economic benefit of having a strong soft power position in the global economy. If we're strong globally, our economy is stronger eventually, and it makes us more successful. That is the that's kind of the crux of the problem that the Trump administration is going to be facing here in the next 6 to 12 months.